It's a game changer in the energy race.
There was so much gas coming out of my kitchen tap, I couldn't close it.
But does it come at too high a price?
You think these gases are going to kill you?
Yes, I do.
Here's Carolyn Jarvis.
There is an energy revolution underway, 2,500 meters underground. A new method of extracting vast reserves of natural gas that were previously thought inaccessible. It's called fracking, or hydraulic fracturing, and it's led to a boom in production across Western Canada. But this new technique is also raising serious environmental red flags. In France, fracking has been banned. In Quebec and New Jersey, there are moratoriums in place. So, is this the answer to our energy woes, or a risky, untested science? Without much fanfare, British Columbia earned a distinction last year few ever learned of. Home to the largest natural gas extraction effort in the world. It's an operation that, like so many others, uses a new method of extraction called fracking. The technique is being heralded as a game changer, but tied to its incredible potential is a growing debate about its environmental impacts. Fracking has been blamed for air pollution, small earthquakes, and contaminated groundwater. Jessica Ernst claims fracking made her water undrinkable. So laden with natural gas, she says, she can light it on fire with a match. She does this from the safety of a metal building for fear she'll blow up her kitchen.
Well, it's not just flammable, it's highly explosive. There's high levels of methane in it, some ethane, and who knows what else.
It was about 10 years ago that a natural gas company dug beneath Jessica's acreage in Rosebud, Alberta, and started fracking. It's a process, also known as hydraulic fracturing, that involves injecting massive amounts of water, sand, and a toxic cocktail of chemicals deep underground using extreme pressure. That pressure creates cracks in the rock bed, releasing the gas. Jessica claims that process also released gas into her groundwater and is suing the Alberta government and energy giant Encana in a landmark case for $33 million.
I'm beginning to think that the new brute force hydraulic fracturing cannot be done safely. There are too many liabilities and too many risks.
Today, Jessica is considered Canada's Erin Brockovich, a one-woman crusader who refuses to be pushed around by the rich and powerful.
They bullied and bullied. They tried to make me go away. It was unbelievable.
And she knows a thing or two about the topic. Jessica spent 25 years as a scientist working in the oil and gas industry.
Is explosive water natural?
Now she tells her story any chance she gets. This time, it's at a fracking workshop in Cochrane, Alberta.
I was in tears because there was so much gas coming out of my kitchen tap, I couldn't close it.
Sharing the stage with her, environmental journalist Andrew Nikiforuk. He says fracking companies are using strong-arm tactics.
I can tell you I've met hundreds of people in this province who have signed confidentiality agreements once their water was blown, once their livestock was killed, once a member of their family were injured. It is common practice in this province to buy people out and then buy their silence.
There is anger in this room.
I've had 14 years of living in polluted water until my husband and I almost died.
And it's spreading.
We're starting to get earthquakes.
But the concern goes beyond water contamination. People are equally incensed about how much water is required to frack. It is by far the main ingredient in that sandy soup injected underground, and to many, a far more precious resource than natural gas.
We need to be much more careful in how we use our natural resources.
BC MLA Bob Simpson wants the environmental impact of fracking figured out before the government hands out long-term water licenses to gas companies. Simpson brought us here to Beaver Lake near Victoria to make his point.
It represents about 1 billion liters of fresh water. And one of the largest hydraulic fracking or fracking jobs in British Columbia used this amount of water for that one frack job.
Billion liters of water.
Yeah.
And you're seeing this volume of water being used in one single operation?
Correct. We're going to be seeing trillions of liters, tens of trillions of liters of British Columbia's fresh water forced into the ground with toxins, all under the auspices of it's a clean transition fuel. And of course, we're now getting evidence that it's not clean, it's actually dirtier than coal.
But a critic would say we need natural gas, we need energy, and here's a place where we can find it, so why not go after it?
I am saying if we do need it, we better make sure we're doing it right.
So on June 1st in the legislature, Simpson asked the BC government if it was going to do it right.
Please inform this House if approval has been given to Talisman Energy and Cambrium Energy for the diversion and pipeline removal of 7.3 billion liters of water out of the Williston Reservoir behind the WAC Bennett Dam.
BC's Minister of Energy and Mines, Rich Coleman, rose and issued a straightforward response.
There will be an extensive process of public consultation, discussion, and negotiations with First Nations before anything would go ahead.
A clear promise of public consultation. But just 2 months later, the BC government granted Talisman a 23-year water license to extract 10 million liters of water from the Williston Lake Reservoir every day, without any public consultation. 16 by 9 wanted an explanation, but Talisman ignored our requests for an interview. So we decided to head out to BC's Peace Region to do our own public consultation.
You got it, 5%. We're going to give it to you for being on time, okay?
First stop, Rick Koechl's science class in Fort St. John. Rick's been a teacher and water activist for 25 years.
The amount of water that needs to be injected downhole is phenomenal. So where does that water come from? And once it's down there, somewhere between 20 to 40% of it will have to be, will come back up to surface and will have to be disposed of. At this point, I don't think you can really call it water anymore. It's really a toxic soup.
In some cases, that toxic soup sits in open holding tanks like this one. In other cases, it's injected back underground into abandoned oil wells.
You must be Caroline.
Next, we visited local councillor Terry Webster at a ranch near Hudson Hope. Terry has a ringside seat to Talisman's growing natural gas operation. Her 1,000-acre ranch is being torn up by Talisman's water pipeline. She was paid $60,000 for the land use, but says she didn't have any choice. This goes on for kilometers and kilometers.
Yeah, so basically this is 37 miles long, this pipeline. By next year, we will have 5 pipelines on our land. Although we can use the surface, we're not allowed to build anything on it. We can't have a dugout, we can't have a corral, we can't have a building. So the more pipelines you have, the more you're going to be restricted. So eventually, you can't use your land for farming.
For Terry as well, it's the incredible amount of water being used to extract the gas that's so alarming.
Should you be taking that water out of the ecosystem? And secondly, when it's contaminated, where is it going to?
Do you feel in the dark?
Yep. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Frustrated?
Threatened.
And this is just the beginning. There are a dozen international companies here in a race for natural gas deposits. Talisman alone plans to build 1,400 wells in the region, wells that will be fracked repeatedly. It's Carolyn Jarvis calling. We tried a few more times to reach Talisman, but still nothing. I'm sure you can appreciate we feel after a month's time now that we're getting a bit of the runaround here. So on the final stop on our northern road trip, we dropped by Talisman's office in Fort St. John. Hi, I'm here with Global 16 by 9. We're looking for somebody to speak with.
We don't currently have a spokesperson in the office. I'm standing in for my boss right now, and we'd be happy to grant an interview in Calgary.
But 2 days after agreeing to an interview, Talisman backed out.